White Men Can't Jump is only on Hulu.
You assumed I couldn't hoop because I'm white.
No, I assumed you couldn't hoop because you were dressed like a white girl at Whole Foods.
Oh! Now streaming.
We can hustle a few games.
We'll throw them off their game and we'll clean up.
See the movie event.
Those short shorts look incredible on you. You have OnlyFans?
Only on Hulu.
We win, we make more money than we've ever seen in our lives.
Sin Qua Walls.
But you're not bringing enough money to cover this game.
Jack Harlow.
I brought like 80 minus 60.
I knew this was a mistake.
White Men Can't Jump. Rated R. Now streaming. Only on Hulu.
Elvis. Dolly. BB. Garth. Luke, Wade, McQuarrie. See them while they're still known by more than one name. Your vacation is now planning in Tennessee. Plan your trip today at tnvacation.com.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1768. Why Relationships Matter Most. We're All Just Walking Each Other Home, by Aleena Haider with tinybuddha.com. Hello, everybody. I am your host and narrator, Greg Audino, ready to ring in another episode of Optimal Relationships Daily with you. And today's comes from perhaps our most well-rounded contributor in the network, Tiny Buddha, the website with many widespread articles talking about many different topics, and always top quality. Enjoy this one about the importance of relationships as we optimize your life. Why Relationships Matter Most. We're All Just Walking Each Other Home, by Aleena Haider with tinybuddha.com. Quote, "We're all just walking each other home." That's by Ram Dass. Living in the hyper-individualist society that we do, it's easy to forget our obligation to those around us. Often in the West, we are taught to prioritize ourselves in the unhealthiest ways, to grind as hard as we can to achieve wealth and status. We are taught, between the lines, that our first responsibility is to create a perfected version of ourselves to such an extreme that it's all right to forsake our relationships with others to accomplish it. From day one, it's embedded in us that it is our individual selves against the world. Like many others, I'd like to challenge this notion. Because what is the purpose of wealth and status if not to share it with the ones you love and who love you the most? What is the meaning of life itself if not companionship, community, and love? I want to disclaim, of course, that this is by no means attacking the notion of having personal external goals. Career success, physique aspirations, and other tangible objectives can absolutely be noble in pursuit and attainment. What I would like to say is that none of those external goals will fulfill you the way that genuine human connection can, and that those goals should not be completed by abandoning your healthy relationships and support systems. And if you're thinking, who actually does that? This introduction is not for you. To put it simply, life is a series of circumstances, situations, and experiences that we get reluctantly swept into, and sometimes foolishly sweep ourselves into. It's just one adventure after the next, for better or worse. That sounds gloomy, but it's what makes life so beautiful. The human ability to feel a vast range of emotions within an hour and find charm in the worst circumstances. A little over a year ago, my aunt passed. Through a blur of tears, I remember thinking about how beautiful the flowers people had sent were, and how vibrantly green the grass of the cemetery was. And amidst all the despair, I remember looking around and seeing my friends. When I think back to all the times in my life when it felt like the roof would cave in, that I had nothing left, that I didn't know if I would be strong enough to move forward and continue on, I remember what exactly it was that pushed me forward. It was always my friends, my people, those who almost daily not only told me that they would be there for me, but showed up when I needed them the most. Would I have survived my hardships alone? Yes. Would I prefer to do it alone? Never. I am infinitely grateful for the community I've created for myself, the network of friends that have become family, and mentors that help guide me when things seem too chaotic to untangle. Through the gentle counsel of my loved ones, I've come to realize that there is no nobility in solitary living. There is no wisdom or bravery in taking on hardship or challenges alone when I don't need to. every time I forsook my loved ones to be my distorted idea of independent, it seemed almost like I was just adding gasoline to already growing flames. There was no more profound message beneath suffering and silence, only suffering. And I think most of us can agree that attempting to handle problems alone feels infinitely more difficult to manage than with support. It's part of why people seek romantic partnerships, to have someone always there to walk through the flames alongside. It's why people invest so strongly in their loved ones in general. It's to feel heard and to be seen, to hear and to see. Part of the purpose of life I have come to learn is, within the attempt to know someone else, to recognize yourself in another person deeply. Connection is everything we have in this world. It's the mirror that holds itself up to us in the face of conflict with another person. It makes us think twice before buying from a brand that uses slave labor, and it's what makes us recoil at the thought of abused animals or children. Connection with all living beings is the deeper understanding that we are all somehow joined by our humanity. And in that, understanding that one of our primary purposes is to know and be known. To know my friends and their joys and fears, and draw parallels to how they reflect my own. To walk alongside them through the difficult times and the blissful times. I recognize now that it is in the attempt to know others that I know myself. We're all just walking each other home. Life, at its core, is that simple. I'm walking hand in hand, side by side, sometimes a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, with the people around me. Some of those people may walk too quickly for me to keep up, and some may move too slowly. That's when I thank them for walking me as far as they could have and continue on without them, as they will continue on without me. If the journey of life is a path that we walk, then the purpose of our travel buddies is to help us navigate the storms on the road and to make the journey as fun, exciting, and comfortable as possible. If life is a journey, then the whole point of friendship, companionship, and mentorship is just to be with each other. If I'm walking you home, is my purpose not to try to best protect, guide, and love you throughout that journey? We're all walking each other and ourselves home. And the least we can do is our best to make that journey as beautiful, warm, and light as possible. So many of us are falling into a spiritual trap of sorts and being wholly sucked into the hyper-consumerist and individualist mentality of the West. Some of us are actively fighting the true nature of our being, which yearns for deep and genuine connection above all else. As you age and the world around you changes, your values begin to change. When you're nearing your final days, when all you want is your family and friends surrounding you, will you have planted those seeds? Will you have spent some time cultivating and nourishing your relationships with those around you? Will you have walked your loved ones down their path and done your best to create joy in your and others' journeys? The message I'm trying desperately to convey here is that we need one another. We need love and we need companionship. We need forgiveness and we need grace. We need to be open to giving our hearts away and open to the risk of being hurt. And in that same breath, we need to do everything possible in our power to avoid hurting those around us. We need to use the path to grasp the importance of being tender with each other. The journey of life is not easy. Take a moment and reflect on all those who have walked you in the past, and all those who will continue to walk you home. Think about the connections you've made, the empathy and the love you've nourished in the lives of those you care about. And remember that at the end of the day, despite all of the problems and chaos around us, we're all just walking each other home, and we're all just trying to be better companions, one day at a time. You just listened to the post titled, Why Relationships Matter Most. We're all just walking each other home, by Aleena Haider with tinybuddha.com.
In Northern Virginia, you can make your future better because we've made college better. With over 100 certificate and degree programs that prepare you for in-demand jobs. By making tuition affordable and manageable through smaller payments over time with classes that fit your schedule. Northern Virginia Community College. We're the affordable, achievable, incredible college. Nova. We make college better. Apply now at boldlynova.com.
So, you open Google Chrome on your phone, you're hunting for a super rare first edition vinyl of a band you're obsessed with, when you're supposed to be working. but this site you tapped on seems pretty shady. And Daryl from IT just jumped up from his desk. Oh no, he's coming your way. It's a good thing built-in malware protection keeps you safe and sound. Not from Daryl, though. Sorry. There's no place like Chrome. Download Google Chrome on your phone.
And thanks a lot to Aleena for this article. An article that really abandons what we're used to in many ways. You know, it abandons the research, abandons the niches, abandons the science, but in the best of ways. Now, don't get me wrong. I love articles that contain all of those things I just mentioned, but it's really refreshing to have articles like Aleena's as well that are more from the heart. Today's type of article, to me, always feels more driven by spirituality, that perception of relationships we have when we're just feeling them instead of learning about them or thinking about them. Of course, relationships are at the core of what we do. Most of our decisions would be different if our circles and the people we grew up under were different. And all of these exterior goals we pursue, we would stop, most if not all of them, if they came at the expense of the people we love most. That's the truth of the matter. But we can forget about it given how consistent relationships are. You know, they're with us each day. They're not always glorious and sometimes losing spark and, they're easy to take for granted. Don't let them be. It's my hope that ORD helps all of us stay aware of just how fortunate we are to have the relationships that we have. That's it for me, though, everyone. It's time to wrap up this episode, but not this day. It is Sunday, and thus our weekly bonus episode is ready for you. It's up now in your feed, number 1769, so check that out before going out and doing your thing. Thank you for listening here, and I hope to see you there. That's where your optimal life awaits.